big news yesterday. It wasn't really breaking news. It was expected, but there was still some uncertainty because first and foremost in the baseball draft, the Orioles had to take Adley Rutschman. If that happened, it was believed that the Royals would take Bobby Witt Jr., and that is exactly how it played out. Royals, Monty, really couldn't lose here because Rutschman, the best college player in the country as a catcher, and Bobby Witt Jr., the best high school player in the nation.
Well, the Royals they've had their eye on this kid for quite some time. They've done all the, checking out they can do, all the reports they can do, all the scouting they can do, and I think they feel really good about it. I've heard about this kid for quite some time. I'm not sure if it's just because his name's Bobby Witt Jr., and I played against his father for a number of years, but I've seen this name on the radar screen for quite some time.
He has definitely been on the Royals' radar screen for many years, as you mentioned, and the Royals love everything about the soon-to-be 19-year-old.
He can play anywhere on the field, and he's just a special athlete. He's obviously grown up around the game. He's very poised. He's very controlled emotionally. There's nothing he couldn't do on a baseball field, and again, so it's just a great honor today that we're able to celebrate this draft. He's played on the biggest stage that his peer group has to offer. He's performed. He's a gold medalist. He's played in all the All-American games. He's grown up in a baseball family. He went out this year and earned this spot in the draft based on how he performed. We had a scout and sometimes several scouts at every game he played. We literally saw every inning that he played. We saw him in workouts as well. We saw him in scrimmages, preseason scrimmages. So Lonnie Goldberg and our scouting staff did an amazing job, and I got a chance to spend 2 days with him as well. But I've seen him play throughout his starting when he was 14 years old. So I've seen a lot of it as well. And again, it was a very easy decision for us, very natural for us to take this player.
He's very athletic. He looks like he's going to be a great player, and we're excited that he's part of this organization. And by the time he's ready, we should be competing for another world championship. So we're excited that he's going to be in the fold.
You heard from Dayton on the phone there. That's because he's bunkered away in the draft room still. So I think we'll hear from him in person, video, and maybe live during the game tomorrow. But Monty, not everybody, but wait a minute. They already have a shortstop in Adalberto Mondesi. That doesn't matter, does it?
Well, he's an athlete, and you take the best athlete available in the draft when you can get him. And I think the fact that he's a younger kid, he's going to be 19 here real soon, he has the ability to really evolve and play a lot of different positions. And I think if you ask about any infielder that's playing in the major leagues right now, most of them played shortstop when they were in high school. That's where you put your very best athletes. That's where you put your best defender. That's where you put your best player. Normally, it's at shortstop. And he obviously was the best. I thought it was interesting hearing Dayton's comments, the fact that they've watched this young man play baseball for so long. I don't know that any organization could say that they've seen a player play longer than what the Royals have watched Witt.
You talked about going up against his dad, Bobby Witt Sr. Witt was drafted, Bobby Sr., by the Reds in the 7th round in 1982, a year before the Reds drafted Monty with a 9th round pick in 1983. He didn't sign. He ended up going to college to Oklahoma and then signing in the 1st round when he came back. So he signed as the 3rd overall pick in the draft when he came back around. His son yesterday signs with the 2nd overall pick.
He's been always there for me growing up and everything. He's been there since day one. I started playing baseball, so then just having him there and everything, just knowing that he's done what I've done, just asking him questions and everything. He's been my role model ever since I was little, my best friend, so it's amazing to have him.
I'm just happy for him. I mean, that's what it's about. It was really exciting. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to be a part of a World Series and that, but when it's your own child and they have an opportunity to do something like this, there's nothing that replaces this.
And it's so refreshing to hear a young man talk about his dad that way and his dad talk about his son. It's obviously a very special relationship. Baseball does that between fathers and sons, whether you coach or you play. It doesn't matter, and I think that's something that's going to be really fun to watch. I know I had a chance to play with Brian McRae when Hal was our manager here, and it's a very special relationship.
Yeah, speaking of father-son combinations, I mean, all these kids grow up around the game. Some of them end up playing it, some of them don't, but there certainly have been plenty of father-son combinations in the Royals organization.
It does. You know, we have Hal McRae and Brian McRae. Now, Brian was taken by the Royals. Hal came in a trade. And then you have Big John and Little John. Now, of course, neither one of them were selected by the Royals, but they're right up there in that. They were both first-rounders, so they're both in that mix of father-son first-rounders. So Big John and Little John, always fun to bring up Big John. Anytime you can bring up Big John, you bring up Big John.